Hello everyone, welcome to my solo speech today. I am Linh from AdOne Publisher and I am very happy to be able to be here today in hyper casual conference game and share with you about the recipe for star hit and the trends of 2022. Okay, so we may wonder who we are and what we are doing at the moment. We are gamers and cat lovers. We have more than 30 crazy team members who are based in Vietnam. And our team has experience working with more than 50 projects. So for today, let's go through the main contents to make your game from scratch and become a hit. I think firstly, identify trends and ideas. Secondly, timing is very important. Thirdly, focus on testing. And last but not least, I will give you some tips for your CBI test. Okay, so talking about identify trends and ideas, I think it could be hard to identify which can fit the mass market. However, you can do based on the following suggestions. First, inspiration, I think, can strike anytime and anywhere in daily life. So I suggest you to keep an open mind for new ideas and at any moment. And game makers and developers should be able to make note of your concept whenever your inspiration comes. The next thing to do is you can go to the App Store, you can look at the top chart, and you can explore all the mechanics and themes that they have in common. Remember that some trends never really get old. Try to review, mix and combine the old concepts and make them to the top again. For me, trends on social media has inspired many hyper-casual games to become a hit. So the concepts inspired by TikTok have reached the top charts many times because they are popular with a wide audience and may lead to a very low CPI. However, not every TikTok trend is meant to be a game, so I think you should approach trends from developers' perspective and determine which could become a potential concept. In this slide, we have a case study from Phone Case DIY. After seeing the do-it-yourself trend on TikTok with many videos achieving over 20 million views, the one on the left, Crazy Lab, turning the idea into a profitable game and achieved over $6 million both on Android and iOS. Okay, so when we're talking about hyper-casual, one important element is timing. A first version of hyper-casual should be built within 2 or 3 weeks. And in the very first build, I think we should prioritize the right features to save time for your team. So don't do all the things. Choose the right things which can help you to achieve a low CPI and a great game metrics. For me, gameplay needs to be simple but fun. So the more satisfying your gameplay is, the lower your CPI could be. So pay more attention in for the little details as well. For example, haptic feedback include things such as vibration or sounds may seem like a very small detail, but sometimes it can really make the overall gameplay experience feel more alive and realistic for users. Lastly, don't forget to set a deadline for your prototype. If it takes you more than 2 months or 3 months to make a prototype, I think it may be because of the lack of the deadline for your team. So it's very important. A/B testing is very necessary during soft launch, and we should continue testing even after the global launch. It will help to optimize and maintain performance of your game. For example, I think we all knew that most of revenue in hyper-casual game come from interstitial ads. So choosing display or an ad before or after the end of levels can have a negative or positive impact on user experience. So A/B testing can help to find the profit maximization point, but still considering the impact on game metrics like retention and playtime. And the same importance should be given to other elements like UX UI test, environment test, and haptic test. Okay, so remember to continue challenging your setup with A/B testing, and whether it comes to the acquisition or monetization part. And you should define your KPIs in advance and stick to them all the time. It will be very important to your game. So when we come to the CBI test, a really common question is why we need to CBI and do the marketability test. Actually, this is very essential for any prototype. The process of testing your gameplay with engaging creatives is in order to find out whether your gameplay can fit a mass market or not. So your goal here is to aim for a low CPI. I think normally for hyper casual it's under 40 cents, and we aim for a high CTR as well. To do that, we need a highly engaged creatives that can have an impact on your CPI. And from my experience, we are happy to share some of our tips in order to reduce your cost per install. So the first thing I want to share with you is choosing the gameplay to show is very important. Instead, using fake creatives, I think during this phase, you should concentrate on your core gameplay and the main mechanics. You can play the game by yourself first, then recording the most appealing level, ask other team members of their impression after watching the record. And if they can summarize the gameplay, I think your creative is good to go. And beside that, colors, contrast, and the camera angles are all important visual consideration when it comes to making creatives. To reach the broad audience, I think the best practice is use bright colors, keep the contrast high between the characters and the backgrounds. And also we should try different camera angles to bring a new gameplay experience, and it can lead to a lower CPI. Next thing is focus on the first 3 to 5 seconds of your marketability test. Because you need to grab user attention as quick as possible, and it will be the good sign if the users can describe your game in 1 sentence after watching the creatives. So it's time to mix all of this tip and exercise. So think of your next hyper casual hit and go to the top chart. In very next slide, I would like to talk about the trends of 2022. So have you guys ever heard the term AdOne before? So I think the concept of this has existed for a while, but it only came to be known lately. So mobile users are getting bored with hyper casual games, so they want to explore something else, something they have played before but different. And I think mobile developers is trying to find a combination of hyper casual games and casual games. And this gives rise to one of the most popular categories in hybrid games. AdOne will be the answer for both user and developers. There are more and more idle arcade games earning their places in the top chart for both Android and iOS. Here we have the example of My Little Universe, one of my favorite games, My Mini Mart, Office Fever, Frozen Universe, and they are all success on a variety of levels. I think the concept of this type game is to green resources for expanding and upgrading. The gameplay might be easy enough for you to learn how to play within a couple of minutes. However, you might be surprised to find yourself spending hours grinding for something in the game. I want to talk about the features in idle arcade. Like usually idle arcade games start with like moving characters. It can be a stickman or anything you can move with a joystick like a car or a truck. I think this will be great for engagement since users has to put a finger on the screen and engage with the gameplay all the time. And we can see many idle arcade games include the stacking mechanic. Taking resources by stacking them brings the satisfying feeling for users. Most of the creatives in this gen start with like stacking the resources, using it, and then share it, like the feeling of gain and loss. Moreover, unlock, expand, and upgrade are other big part of idle arcade games. Including these four elements will keep users engaged, enhance the satisfaction of gameplay, and also boost the in-game metrics like retention and playtime. So we want to have a look on a game on the idle arcade market. Here we have the example from Office Fever by Rolex. They had successfully acquired over 10 million users. The gameplay is very straightforward. You moving characters to collect documents by stacking them, then deliver to the workers. Then the money you earned will be used to unlock new properties, hire new employees, and upgrade them. For me, I think one of the selling points here is if you don't give the workers enough papers, they're gonna fall asleep, and it will make you feel rushed all the time, and you don't want to pay money for those drowsy workers. And another example is Harvested from Home Game. You can see they have similar features like moving characters, stacking resources, then using money to expand the land and upgrade them. In this slide, we have the benchmark for both genres. Overall, idle arcade has better retention and playtime value. For example, Taiwan could even reach 35% to 50%, while playtime day zero is around 20 minutes. I think this is not really impossible for hyper-casual games in average. However, the CPI of idle arcade is likely to be higher than hyper-casual games. That's because the audience isn't as wide as compared to hyper-casual game, and so somehow you have to pay a higher cost to acquire a new user. And again, the development of an idle arcade games is harder and more time-consuming because you implement more features and elements. So, what can bring the success to the idle arcade games? One of the tips here is the hyper-casualize the gameplay in order to make it fun right away. I think the gameplay should be well understood by the player within a few seconds of playing. Idle games can be very complex, while idle arcade shouldn't be. And make sure your theme is common or trendy. Using daily scenarios or jobs could improve your game marketability, leading to a lower CPI. And please don't choose a small market. Your game should appeal to both male and female players. And last but not least, you can try taking a hit game which is already proven its marketability from hyper-casual genre and put the idle feature into it. One of the best case study is the success of Arcade Hall from Rolex. So what is the inspiration for the next idle arcade games? I think we should explore the other mechanics to merge with idle arcade games and just stay focused on the core gameplay loop. Try to think from user point of view and answer the most common questions. Is your game fun? Is your game satisfying? And is your game easy to understand? And do try to merge your idea with already existing popular hyper-casual gameplay. Some direction we can think of like merging, runner, stacking, and idle. In AdOne, we are testing some new ideas with idle arcade category and we saw a great result. So I think don't be hesitate to contact us for more testing ideas with idle arcade games or whatever you might think could be a star hit. Thank you for listening today. I really hope that you have a good day. Thank you. Bye.